as you know, if you served any time in the prison system, when you come out, it's impossible to find a job, housing, and a community to live in as if you never been in prison. And so we hope that we'll be a resource, education, and training to implement this population back into society, where they could be able to find jobs, find housing, and care for their families. Today our emphasis is on Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is not a religion, it is a celebration of Black culture. And they have 7 principles that we'll be looking at for 4 days. We're going to combine 7 principles in 4 days. We're going to start with 1, unity with the black candle. We use the purple. And the second is the red candle, self-determination. And we have 3 red candles, self-determination, collective responsibility, and cooperative economics. And then the 3rd green candles are purpose, creativity, and faith. And so before we start, we're going to start our unity with meditation. Meditation will help us focus on what we'll be building on today. And Keisha also is co-founder, and she will be adding to the Kwanzaa experience. And so after we meditate, a guided meditation, I will guide you. We will turn it over to Keisha to lead. Meditation, going into meditation. Meditation is the form to help focus the mind, strengthen the body, internal strength that you can see on the outside. There's 2 methods I'm using for a healthy lifestyle. Jim Quick says is meditation, exercise, and diet, and rest. RX means rest plus whatever else you add to that. Swimming, running, biking, etc. And then there's the principle of ROAR. ROAR is relax, observe, A is for analyze and the results. So just begin. Place both feet, if you're sitting, solidly on the floor. Both hands on your thigh. And we're going to breathe in through our nose, 5 counts, and out through our mouth. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. Deep breath into your stomach. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more time. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Then we're going to focus on relaxing our feet, our hands and our ears, since those three are connected to the rest of our bodies. So you welcome to look on the floor 6 inches from yourself, or look internally as I guide you through the meditation. Relax your feet. Relax your big toe. Relax your index toe. Relax your middle toe. Relax your ring toe. Relax your baby toe. Relax the ball of your feet. Relax the mid feet, the arch. Relax the heel. Taking a deep breath into the area I'm asking to relax. Relax the ankle. Relax the shin. Taking a deep breath. Relax the calf. Relax your knee. Relax your quad. Relax your hamstring. Deep breath. Relax your stomach. Relax your diaphragm. Relax your chest. Relax your hips. The lower back, take a deep breath in and out. Relax your back, mid-back. Relax your upper back. Relax your hand. Relax your thumb, take a deep breath. Index finger, deep breath. Relax your middle finger. Relax your ring finger. Relax your baby finger. Relax the palm of your hand. Relax the back of your hand. Relax your wrist. Relax your forearms. Relax your elbows. Relax your tricep and bicep. Relax your shoulders. Relax your neck. Relax your head. Relax your chin. Relax your lips. Taking a deep breath after each guide. Relax your nose. Relax your eyes. Relax your forehead. Relax the back of your head. Relax the top of your head. Relax your eyes. Relax your earlobe. Relax inside of your ear, outside of your ear, top of your ear. Couple of more deep breaths. 1. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And that is 5 minutes meditation to get us started with our Kwanzaa celebration. I give it over to Keisha.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Coach K, and I'm here to talk about Kwanzaa, our first day, and how that relates to UMOJI, and also how we're going to use 2 study books to put into practice some techniques. We are putting together the game plan, a strategy for life to help increase quality of life for you and your families and communities and your allies, so that you can work together, powers in unity. Our goal today is to talk about unity. UMOJI is going to support you in your daily lifestyle choices by training you with life skills. We have some coaches and some trainers and some educators that is going to be a part of our circle. We are here with professionals that will work on one-on-one, will work with group, how you are in need, as you are in need. We are supporting you also through resources. We have a circle. We're growing every day for our network. We have over 100 businesses and organizations right now. We're inviting more people to our direct circle, our network, to help with resources, and resources includes job opportunities, career opportunities, certificates, licenses. It includes also opportunities for degrees. We're helping people get connected with nonprofit organizations. We're helping people get connected with government, understand those processes, understand how to prepare the documents. We bring in people to help with technical support. We are working with organizations like the Department of Agriculture to facilitate and help connect with also resources of technical support. We also think that it's very important that we involved corporations to help with employment opportunities to build your resources, as well as SCORE, retired communities, to help with your skills in becoming entrepreneurs and business owners, how to prepare taxes through H&R Block or ARP. We have also the opportunity to sit down and give you life coaching opportunity to build your own dream map, to help you also build your own navigation, find your own North Star. What is your purpose? And how do your community, how do your team come together? Your team, who are your team? Who can you recruit? Who can you bring to the table and sit down and build a plan? Sit down and build a playbook. And this is the process that we talk about in our events, talk about in our clinics, talk about in our camps, summer camps. We're interested in building through different techniques like martial arts, Tai Chi, where we talk about meditation, we talk about natural living, involving with stretching, involving yourselves, what you're eating, how food play an impact in your life. We want you to know that we are looking at holistic approach to increase of quality of life, increase of work ethics, excellence, how to be determined, how to be committed. These are the things that we are supporting you and your communities and your allies and your families in your daily opportunities for your rebuilding your lives, reviving your life, restoring it. We are also able to help, like I said, with building your skills. We are interested in inviting colleges to the table, schools to the table as well. We are encouraging governments to come to the table to remember the long-term commitment of your well-being, of your wellness, of your quality of life. We are encouraging our communities, our eco-villages, our retreats, our resorts, our hospitality services around the country as well as in local areas to unify, to help and build together. And so while we doing this, we're including peer-to-peer opportunities. How can you get involved? How can you pay it forward? This is the next phase of unity. Once you're unified and you network and you build your team and you build your game plan and people are coming together and power and unity and we make things happen, rebuild communities, rebuild your life, rebuild your family life, rebuild your community life, then what's next? After you get your career, you get your financials, you get increased quality of life, your decision making is established, you're self-sustainable. Now, what do you do next? And this is where we take this opportunity to pay it forward. We allow the opportunity to be alumni to our programs, and in that opportunity, we encourage you to pay it forward, become a mentor, become a teacher, become an educator, become a trainer, become a coach, become a CEO, become a transformative leader and have a leadership and get your own mentees, get your own team to want to learn and duplicate the system. And so with that said, we're going to start off with our study. We're working out of Gospel in Life, Grace Changes Everything. It has 8 lessons by Timothy Keller. We're going to focus on lesson 1 and 8 today, the beginning and the end lesson, and then we're going to work inward, towards the middle, the core. And the second book is called Multiply, Disciples Making Disciples. We like to use that traditional word and transform it into the 21st century word as mentors, making mentors. So we're encouraging mentorship. We're encouraging coaching, making coaches, coaches making coaches, trainers making trainers, educators making educators. We're building that pay it forward type of motif or model. We want to also remind everyone that we do practice mindfulness through Tai Chi, through meditation, through prayer, through stretching. And these things are very important to alignment, daily tranquility, daily serenity. And with that said, this is the technique we use for multiply. How do we multiply? How do we increase not just our quality of life, not just to be prosperous, not to just live in a beautiful life for ourselves, our community, and our allies and our families, but how do we multiply? This is the segment of multiplying, meaning you pay it forward. You build others that want to be built. And we are encouraging peer-to-peer mediation. We're encouraging peer-to-peer liaison. We're encouraging, empowering people to do peer-to-peer facilitation. And with that said, this is the book that we're going to use some of their techniques as well. And we're going to work out of the first 2 chapters. So let's begin. The Gospel in Life. Grace changes everything. We're going to ask some questions and talk about some of these questions as we dig into the conversation that Timothy Keller wanted us to really focus on and target some of our conversation in unity. The second day, tomorrow, we'll talk about self-determination. And then the third day, we'll talk about cooperative economics. But today, we're just focusing on unity. And that is going to be built off, what is your game plan? Why do we need a game plan? What does game plan have to do with unity? Well, let's start with unity. Unity is a common ground. It is a win-win solution. It's when people come together and they agree on something and passionate to come together to say, hey, this is what we want to see manifest. This is what we want to work together and contribute. So everyone brings to the table, like a buffet, a contribution to make this into a unified collective. And so we're going to talk about what is that strategy, what is that game plan, what is that picture, what does that look like. So let's start with the world. We're going to define the world, and then we're going to define the second world. We have, I'm going to call it Plan A, Plan B. So session 1, city, the world that is, and then our second world, we're going to call that Plan B, and we're going to call that the future world, right? So let's start with the first one, okay? So we have here today the first question. It says here, as you begin asking God to be at work, this is what we are going to start. In 586 BC, Jerusalem was destroyed, and the elite of Jewish society, the artisans and professionals and leaders, were taken to Babylon by force. The prophet Jeremiah received a word from the Lord and wrote these exile letters. Read aloud Jeremiah 29, 4 through 14, and then work through the questions below. So we're going to do that, and so we're using this inspirational word as a grounding model. You can use any textbook. This is the one we chose for today's discussion on unity. So what happened was the first world, we're in the 21st century, but let's look at our past before we look into our future. Let's do Jeremiah 29. So if we head to Jeremiah 29, and we're going to read 4 through 14. We're going to gather some information. If you got some paper and pen, we have journals here. You are more than welcome to use the journals, or you can use your phones and make notes. And so let's go towards that right now. And
Read the Bible verse again.
Yes, it's Jeremiah, and that's chapter 29, and that's verse 4 through 14. And what we're going to get out of this is the prophet Jeremiah received a word from the Lord and wrote these exile letters. And now we're going to read those letters, and then we're going to talk about it. And why are we writing letters? This is where unity plays a huge role. What is the vision? What is the game plan? What is the purpose? What is the thing that people want to come together and be unified with? Okay, so let's start with verse 4. It says this: "This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says to all those I carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon: build houses and settle down, plant gardens and eat what they produce, marry and have sons and daughters, find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, so that they too may have sons and daughters. Increase in number there, do not decrease. Also seek peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper." Okay, now we're at verse 8. "Yes, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Do not let the prophets and diviners among you deceive you. Do not listen to the dreams you encourage them to have. They have prophesying lies to you in my name. I have not sent them, declares the Lord. This is what the Lord says. When 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will come to you and fulfill my good promise to bring you back to this place. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me. When you seek me with all your heart, I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back to the place which I carried you into exile. So that is verse 14. Now, why is this important? Unity. This is the letter. This was during the time that they went into captivity, into slavery. And when they went into slavery, the command was this: while you're in slavery, this is the in-between time, the in the meantime. So here we are. The game plan is what? It is to what? Build, right, houses and settle down. Plant gardens and eat what they produce. Marry and have sons and daughters. Find wives for your sons and give daughters in marriage, so that they too may have sons and daughters. Increase in number there. Do not decrease. Also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Okay? So then it says, pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. So that was the first phase. The game plan was very clear, even in slavery, even in prison, even in captivity. It was a clear vision of what unity looks like. What are you supposed to do together? Stick together. Do what when you stick together? Build together. Build homes for you together. Make sure you have a home to live in. That is the first one. The second one was to not be alone, right? To first, what? Create gardens. To feed yourselves, food for yourselves. Then make sure you have a legacy, have children, have relationships, build unity, come together in peace and prosperity. This is the command, the letter given when they went into slavery. This is not when they was rich. This is not when they were working class. This is not when they were careers. This was not when they were educators. This was when they was in slavery. He had commanded the prophet to give an inspirational word. This is what you can do while you're in prison, while you're in slavery, while you're in captivity. So that was the vision. He says, unify, stay unified. And this is the common ground. This is the vision that you all should protect, should walk out, should implement in your lives as one voice, one mind, one soul. Build homes for each other. Make sure everyone has a home, shelter. Then build a garden. Make sure everyone can eat. Then build relationships. Make sure you can pass down legacies, numbers, increase in your families. Build. It said multiply, meaning don't decrease, don't divide, don't subtract, but what? Grow, right? Into the unification of collectiveness. Build together. Make sure you have homes, make sure you have food, and make sure you are unified. And then the attitude, the energy. This was for slavery, captivity, and prison. To do what? Peace and prosperity. So let's move on. That was the first vision. That was the past, right, for exile. And then he reminded them that he only had plans to prosper them, not to destroy them. So when he put them in exile, he said, don't feel defeated. Don't feel discouraged. This is not a plan to destroy you. You're not going through all of this because you are a rejected people. You're going through all this because after this is done, I'm going to bring you out. You're going to get what? Another vision. It's going to be another chapter for you. And it's plans of prosperity, not to destroy you. So let's take a break from that. And here's the questions for discussion. What specific direction does God give the exiles for relating to the city of Babylon in verses 4 through 7? How do you think the exiles felt about this? So we're going to do some visualization work now, imagination work, hypothetical work, right? So we're going to go through 4 through 7, and we're going to repeat it, even though we almost have this memorized, right? But we're going to go ahead and repeat it. This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says to all those I carried into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Verse 5, build houses and settle down. Plant gardens and eat what they produce. And then verse 6 says, marry and have sons and daughters. Find wives for your sons and give your daughters in marriage, so that they too may have sons and daughters. Increase in number there, do not decrease. 7, also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile to. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper. Okay? So that's 4 through 7. So how did you think the people that was taken into captivity, slavery? So let's talk about those 3 categories. Captivity, if you think of captivity, exiles, it's slavery, it's imprisonment, and it's in, what else? Oppression, injustices, so mistreatment. So we have a population, we're going to group all of that and call it exiles, right? Captivity. So how do you think they felt after hearing this? Well, how do you think you would feel if you heard this?
Life sucks.
Life sucks, exactly. And here I am going into captivity. I got to go to prison. I got to go become a slave. I got bad things happening to me all day, every day. And I get this word that says, do not fret. Do not fear. Take courage. Here's an instruction that you and your allies can do together. Here's a strategy for you. Here's a business plan for you. Here is a life plan for you. A daily operation plan, basically. Here, we want you to do this while you're in this situation. While life sucks, we want you to go ahead and work together on each other's houses, build houses. If you have houses, build houses. Live in it, settle down in it, live a quiet life, and then do what? Build you some gardens so you can have some food to eat. And then what? Live in prosperity and peace with your children and your allies, and work together. While you're in captivity, while you're in prison, while you're in slavery, while things are going bad for you. This is the attitude, this is the goal, this is the implementation, this is the grind, this is the motivation for you. It's like being an athlete and your coach tells you, this is what I want you to do for your workout every single day until the season starts. After all this stuff happens every day in your life, your coach is focused on the routine they want you to do in your free time whenever you can. That is wild, right? He didn't say, I'm going to set you free. He didn't say, I'm getting ready to punish your oppressors, those that is over you. He's saying, this season, this is what I want you to do as unity. Work together, build houses, and build your gardens, and make sure you live prosperous, peaceful lives with your families, with what you have. How do you feel about that?
Well, uh, if you went down a little further, he also says that don't believe the prophets, uh, Lord prophet, because they want your dreams or you being influenced. He said that they are liars. You will be in captivity for 70 years.
Mhm.
Yes, and so yes, it sounds like a bad deal.
Bad deal. Very bad deal. All the way around. But watch this, what happens. It says, number 2 question, what is the relationship between the prosper you of verse 11 and the prosperity of the city, verse 7? It's a bad deal. So now you got to find out the plan for you, the game plan for you, and the game plan for the city. So let's read prosper you in verse 11, and then the prosperity of the city in verse 7. So let's start with 7. No, let's do 11 first, and then go back to 7. So let's do the prosperity of you first. Number verse 11. If you go down to verse 11, it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And then you go back to number 7, and then it says, "Also seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prospers, you too will prosper." So basically, it's like you go into this place, whether it's being released, it's like when you're in prison and then when you're released from prison. Released from prison is kind of after you're released from exile or released from your captivity, released from your imprisonment, you go into prosperity. That was the promise. So here you are, from being released, that vision, that life, from when you're in the, what we call life sucks chapter. It says, what? Seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. So what does that mean? How do you seek peace and prosperity of the city that exiled you? Or no, sorry, that captive that is doing the oppressing, the life sucks. They're the life sucks. Man, this is life sucks. They're the authors of that. So what do you think it means to seek peace and prosperity in that situation with that type of people?
Well, it tells you. It says, build houses, settle down, plant gardens, eat what they produce, marry, have sons and daughters, increase in number, seek the peace and prosperity of the city to which I have carried you into exile. Pray to the Lord for it, because if it prosper, you too prosper. So they saying, if you go in and just keep focused on positivity, growing, that you will grow. That's what I'm hearing. And although captivity look bad because you don't have the freedom to come and go as you please, God is saying this is how you do captivity to be prosperous.
Yes. So there's two type of prosperity. There's prosperity while you're in exile, and then there's prosperity when you're released from exile. Prosperity 1 and prosperity 2. And so I call it in the meantime prosperity. So the first one is I agree. It's the encouragement and the motivation that God is saying, here's the plan. Don't let anyone deceive you. Don't let anyone distract you. Don't let anything separate you from this vision, this plan, and then implement it every single day for the rest of your life until I release you. And so then I'll walk you into a new plan. But this is the plan. This is the game plan. This is the champion game plan. Like if you go into sports, you think of, okay, this is the playbook. These are the plays that we're going to implement until we get to the tournaments and then get the championship. This is what you do on a daily basis, and don't get deceived. Don't let no one come and tell you anything outside of this. This is the all be all, right? And that's the foundation. This is the core, right? Unify. And when you unify, what do you do together? Build houses together, right? Build gardens together, right? Build families together. And then marry off, if they want to build families, encourage and motivate the repeat cycle. Rinse and then re-rinse. Do it again. Have your children do the same thing if they choose to do that. Build houses together. Unify, because you got to unify, because it's clear you got to be in unification. Unify, because it says build houses, right? Multiply, build gardens. Then it said marry each other, have relationships with each other, right? Be peaceful, be prosperous. It's okay, even on this level, to go into these oppressed communities in captivity, in exile, in the life sucks chapter, bad card, you name it, injustices, whatever you want to call it, card. This is what you do in that season. We're going to use the winter season. We're going to call it the winter season, the exile season, the winter season. This is what you do in the winter. Build houses together. Unify, build houses. Unify, build gardens. Unify, eat the food you produce. Build houses, what you do together, live in it, settle down in it, make it into a home. Multiply, seek peace, seek prosperity. Then have the children come up and unify and do the same thing. Okay, so let's go to the question 3. What was the purpose of the exile, according to verse 11 through 14? We get to see now what is the purpose. Like when you play sports or you go through life, you kind of want to know what's the definition of the word. What is all this means? What does this mean? What is the purpose of this? And it says, why do you think these verses were included in the letter? So let's do 11 through 14. So I'm going to start reading on verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Verse 12. Then you will call on me. So when that part happens, then the next part happens. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. 13, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all of your heart. 14, I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity. I will gather you from all the nations and places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back to the place from which I carried you into exile. So let's use this as an example, okay? This is hypothetical now. We're going to an imagination world. The Garden of Eden. Let's say the banishment, let's use that example. Let's say it was brought out, we was brought out, exiled into this portion of the planet Earth, right? Let's just use this hypothetically, right? So we spend this time here, and the instruction, the motivation is exile. We already defined what exile was, right? We defined it as all of the life sucks, right? Cards. Mistreatment, injustices, corruption, oppression, imprisonment, captivity, you know, everything you could think of, violence, you know, starvation, diseases, everything you could think of. We're going to pull all of that negative energy into one card, all the cards into one card, and call it a winter season, right? And now we're going to take that winter season and put it together into what is the game plan for that season. And that winter plan was build houses together, unify, build houses together, build food together, you know, build gardens together to eat, right? Once you eat together, be peaceful, be prosperous. Once you be peaceful and prosperous, have children, multiply, don't decrease. Then once you multiply, have children, encourage the children to do the same thing. Unify, have relationships, you know, become a team, work together as couples, as communities, as collective, and do the same thing. Build together, build gardens together, build houses together, build gardens together, eat that food, live in those homes, settle down, live peaceful lives and prosperity in the mess, in the winter season, right? So that is exiled world. So now you now have an idea what non-exile world is, and that's the origins. What we're going to classify, or we're going to title it Garden of Eden, right? So if that was the journey, that was the before, the exile was the after, then I have plans to prosper you, and then I'm going to bring you back to where you was started. So let's just use this hypothetically. So that means if there's a Garden of Eden, we will be brought back to the Garden of Eden. That is the hypothetical vision, right? Well, we use Babylon. The hypothetical vision is to bring you back to Jerusalem. So what does that mean for us for the 21st century? People always ask, how can this be applied for now, right? So the question is, why do you think these verses were included in the letter? What that has to do with us?
Hope. I think that the letter is giving people hope, and I'm thinking also how that applied to incarcerated people. While they're locked up, they probably don't have hope. And I'm sure, being exiled, when you in a state that you're being dictated when to eat, where to go, what you can and cannot do in a small area, you feel that God has turned his back on you. And so I believe God, I think Jeremiah is basically giving people hope. It looks bad, but if you do these things, you will see God's hand. In a place of darkness, there will be light. And so I believe that for 70 years in exile, if the people keep focused and don't get false prophecies saying, oh, God is going to bring you out, you're not going to have to stay in exile. Jeremiah said, yeah, you're going to stay in exile, but this is how to make a bad situation good. You do what God told you to do, you'll have hope that you'll be sent back to your home country and be profitable.
So that is a good contribution. And that is something that we are emphasizing today in our unity is the vision, the game plan is to have a plan of prosperity and to have a plan of hope. At the end, in verse 12, after the Lord says in his letters, plans to prosper you, in 11, and not to harm you, and plans to give you hope and a future. See, there's two plans, back to back. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, and then a plans to give you hope and a future. So after the exile, it's not death, it's not destruction, it's not extinction, it's not a permanent residency. It is clearly stated that when you're released from prison, the world may say that you're a stigma. The world may say you cannot rebuild your house, your life, your community, your family. Everything is lost. You're going to be in this cycle. They may say this. These are the false prophets. These are the false diviners. These are the false motivations, because they're saying, do not believe that. Don't believe you don't have a second chance, a second life, a second plan. The exile plan wasn't for your devastation. The exile plan was not to destroy you. The exile plan was to move you from one location to the next location. It was to travel from one city to the next city, from one world to the next world, right? So it was a transformation tunnel. So the journey was to do what? It transformed you. It was to take you to one place to the next place. It wasn't to destroy you. It was no intention. You wasn't supposed to be in the intentions of destruction. So think about it. If you went through imprisonment, if you went through devastations, if you went through the season that we're calling life sucks, that chapter that was allowed to happen was not to be the destruction or to harm you. It was to prosper you, to take you to one chapter to the next, so one city to the next. The first city we identified is called the exiles, right? Captivity. The second city is called what? Prosperity, hope, and a future, right? So now we're looking at, well, what does this have to do with unity? What does this have to do with UMOJI? What does this have to do with us, right? You. Well, if you look at verse 14, it says on 12, verse 12, then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. 13, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. 14, I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back from captivity. So after he has plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. See, that little piece right there is a season. I'm going to call it spring. After springtime, it says, then you will seek me and find me. So that means summertime, summer season comes. And then in that season, you will seek me and find me. You will seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back to captivity. So after the winter season, he brings you into spring season. And after spring season, he brings you into the summer season. And in the summer season, you get to go back home. And what happens when you get to go back home? I will gather you from all the nations. That means all the exiles, locations, and places where I have banished you, declares the Lord, and will bring you back to the place which I carried you into exile. Okay? So let's wrap some of this up. So what is the second world? Remember I said plan A and plan B. So the second world, we had decided was going to be called the New Jerusalem, right? Well, that's literal and symbolic, but what's this got to do with you is your before and your after, right? People say, what's that got to do with, what's your purpose? Your before purpose is to, while you're in the season, these are the goals you should have as a unity, as a community, right? Build homes, live in them, and live in peace and prosperity, grow your own gardens so you can have food to eat, your own culinary, and then you go into multiplying, having families, and then what do you do with these families and communities and relationships? You prosper, you multiply, you keep peace with each other, right? Win-win solutions. We talk about mediation, we talk about liaison, we talk about facilitation, we talk about conflict resolution, right? These is the things that keeps us in tranquility. These are the things that keeps us self-government, self-determination, right? We talk about cooperative economics. These are the things that we are talking about that brings upon hope and a future to do what we do in the meantime as a unified group together. To do what? The purpose is to build homes, build houses so that we can live in them, to settle down in them, right? And then what do we do while we settle down in them? What kind of work we do? We build our gardens so that we can eat our food, right? And then we, have relationships with each other. So that means we multiply, keep having the opportunity to have allies, to work together as a network, right? As a collective. So let's go to session, the last session, session 8, and then talk to those questions and see what we can glean from today's unity message. And if we get a chance to have some time, we'll work on multiply. If not, we'll wait till tomorrow to work on that textbook. Okay, so we're going to wrap up here in 5 minutes. And we're going to finish our Kwanzaa celebration and light the candles and do a prayer on our closing, and then we'll continue to build on this conversation. So in session 8, this is on page 227. We jumped to the end of the book. We're going to go ahead and read it and discuss the plan B, okay? From plan A. Plan A, we already made that clear, was the winter season. Now plan B, let's do the spring season and the summer season. Read Isaiah 60, 15 through 22, and then work through the questions. So here's the scripture, Isaiah 60. Okay, so let's look that up real quick. Okay, Isaiah 60. For those that wonder, we work through other books, other textbooks as well. We work through Martin Luther King Jr., Strength to Love. We have a couple of other books that we use as textbooks. We have over 100 scholars that we work through. So today we're doing scripture to give us a strong foundation for unity. Isaiah 60 is the scripture we're going to study in, 15, verse 15 through 22, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and read that, and then we got 2 or 3 questions like we did before. We may not be able to do all of them, but let's go ahead and see how much we can do in 5 minutes. So Isaiah 60, and we'll recap tomorrow what we don't get done today. So verse 15 from Isaiah 60. Although you have been forsaken and hated, with no one traveling through, I will make you the everlasting pride and the joy of all generations. You will drink the milk of nations and be nursed at royal breasts. Then you will know that I, the Lord, am your Savior, your Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. Instead of bronze, I will bring you gold, and silver in place of iron. Instead of wood, I will bring you bronze, and iron in place of stones. I will make peace your governor, and well-being your ruler. No longer will violence be heard in your land, nor ruin or destruction within your borders, but you will call your walls salvation and your gates praise. The sun will no more be your light by day, nor will the brightness of the moon shine on you. For the Lord will be your everlasting light, and your God will be your glory. Verse 20, your sun will never set again, and your moon will wane no more. The Lord will be your everlasting light, and your days of sorrow will end. Then all the people will be righteous, and they will possess the land forever. They are the shoot I have planted, the work of my hands, for the display of my splendor. The least of you will become 1,000, the smallest a mighty nation. I am the Lord. In its time, I will do this swiftly. Whew. So that is Plan B. So you understand you're moving towards this. So every single day you're getting closer to Plan B. I think that if you do not understand your purpose in life, this is a great way of building off of a strong opportunity to unify and pick up this game plan. What do you think? It's a good game plan, right?
Yes, it's a good game plan. And it sounds difficult, uh, but it's comes with UMOJI, I'm sorry, Kwanzaa seventh principle, which is faith, amani. And so here's a, I'm sorry, yes, faith as well as 5 purpose, Naya. So it's time that we'll light the black candle, which is unity, and we just thank Keisha for that opportunity, for that reading, and that was a great study for unity, special when you're going through tough times and you thinking all is lost, and going back to summarize that, just the ideal in slavery, I think the last thing you're thinking about is building houses and settling down, plant gardens, eat what you produce, be married and have sons and daughters, and increase in number. So we're talking about increasing generation to generation. Seek the peace and prosperity of the city, so that if the city prosper, you prosper. Pray to the Lord for it, because of the Lord will show prosperity. And we're not talking 70 a year or two. We're talking 70 years. 70 years seems a long time, but that is one generation, one life cycle for the norm. But God promised that He has a plan. The plan is to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Did you have anything else to say, Coach Kaiser?
No, next time we'll just develop the second plan, game plan, and how we can implement that.
Yeah, so now we're gonna light the unity candle. And Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday. It's a cultural holiday to encourage unity in the community, to get unity, to encourage unity in the Black Americans with is population, is environment. And Kwanzaa is not just for black people, it's for anyone that want to be united and build a prosperous, productive environment. And Kwanzaa started back in 1966. Is that correct? Yes, it started in 1966. And so we appreciate the time and that you put into coming to our first Kwanzaa, and we hope to see you tomorrow with self-determination and then collective responsibility. The following day, cooperative economics, and then the last day, purpose, creativity, and faith, and we will have a celebration at the end. And signing off now, give you back to Coach K.
We just want to say thank you again, and we encourage you to unify, join UMOJI, sign up on our website, umojienergy.com. This will be also available on our website, and also subscribe to our magazine. And once again, you are invited to join us, be a part of our community. This is Coach K signing off. Oh, yes, we want to tell you again the location for day 2 and day 3 and day 4 will be at the Corvallis, Oregon Community Center. We will be here on Tyler, 2601 Tyler, Northwest Tyler Street, and that is in Corvallis, Oregon. You can come here between 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to donate to us, please feel free to donate to us through checks, P.O. Box 1082, Albany, Oregon 97321, or you can donate to us online on our website at Cash App, PayPal, and JPay. That would be located on our website. Links as well. Once again, we appreciate your energy and your support. This is Coach K signing off. All love, one love, much love. Peace and blessings. Thank you.